Hi, I'm Ted Gibson. Welcome to New York City. I'm a celebrity hairdresser and salon owner. I have a salon in New York City and one in Fort Lauderdale. I'm getting ready to be interviewed by Sansoni. I'm super excited about it. Wait till you hear what we're going to talk about. It's about business, it's about pleasure, it's about personal, it's about growing your brand. And I'm super excited to share my story with you.
Hey guys, Sansoni here with another success interview live here from New York, and I'm joined today by none other than Ted Gibson. Now, Ted's going to share with you a little bit about his story before we get started, but what another amazing entrepreneur that's really grown his brand, I'm sure from nothing to begin with, just your skill set, to what it is today. He's got two salons, one here in New York and one in Fort Lauderdale, which is perfect, so you can go down there and relax. He's got two different weathers as well, and a whole bunch of other things that he's been able to create around his brand, the Ted Gibson brand. So firstly, thank you so much for joining me today and spending some time.
Super excited. Welcome to New York.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your background before, obviously, where you're at the moment. You're Texas born, correct?
Well, I was born in North Carolina.
Okay.
But I pretty much grew up in Texas.
Okay, right.
But my dad was in the military.
Military.
So we traveled all over.
Yeah.
In Germany and Hawaii and Japan, so pretty much all over the world.
That must have expanded your mind.
I think so.
Really early on.
I do think so. I think that what it did, it got me to be really accustomed to different forms of beauty, which I think is really interesting that I decided to go into the beauty business.
Yeah.
But I think that I'm an only child. My dad was in the military. We traveled all of the time. So I think that what that was able to do for me is help me to adapt to different situations really easily.
Okay, perfect. And I think with your background, I mean, I was looking at, the magazines you've been involved with. I was like, which ones haven't you been involved with, and celebrities that you've been involved with? Which celebrities haven't you been involved with? I mean, you've really crafted this amazing business around, being known as the person to go. I mean, you do runways, you're involved with celebrities, you're involved with, photo shoots and, and magazines. So for you, you started as a hairdresser, I'm sure.
Yes,
okay.
Of course.
So at what point did you, and a lot of our audience out there, they're skilled at something and they want to kind of take that to the next level. At what point for you did you realize, did you decide, or did it just kind of happen that you decide to go down the route of, I'm going to start my own business, I'm going to be my own brand? What happened for you? What was that part for you?
Well, I think that a lot of people think that there may be some overnight sensation, but I don't think that's realistic or true.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that it takes a skill. I also think it takes a perseverance, as well as something of really knowing exactly what it is that you want.
Sure.
I said because I think they're the most successful people. I really truly believe don't sleep. And
what time did I get in last night? 3:30 last night. I didn't sleep.
They don't sleep. And they really have a focus on what it is that they want.
Yeah, right.
Because a lot of people generally will kind of wonder what it is and kind of go through life thinking that way.
Yeah.
But I think that what I've done is I've really been very focused on what it is that I want.
And also you're passionate about it.
Yeah, I love the business.
Yeah, and I think that I'm in New York, and I'm going to be speaking this weekend at a big sold-out event, and that event is for a bunch of people that are trying to turn their dreams and their passions, their talents into dollars, into a business or into some sort of thing as well. And I agree with you. I mean, I'm blessed to be able to share the stage with guys like Sir Richard Branson, these kind of guys, and they all say the same thing. It's like, find a passion that you love, focus on that passion, turn that into a business that you love, because then it's okay if we have sleepless nights.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We're okay with that.
And because you're really reaching for a common goal for yourself.
Yeah.
And fulfilling something within inside of yourself that, I know that as a Black American, I've been gay all my life, that my mom and dad really didn't have that opportunity. Like my dad, when he was 18 years old, decided to go into the military so he didn't have to pick cotton. So I know that for myself, that they didn't have the opportunities that I had. So I have to seize every single moment of the business that I'm in and my life, because they were able to give me something that they didn't have.
Yeah, and I think that I've met a lot of hairdressers out there, and I've had a lot of them come through. I mean, I had a couple of directors from Tony and Guy recently come through and some training from me.
Richard Mann.
And one of the things in Melbourne, in Melbourne, So one of the things that I've realised, and one of the things that a lot of people come to me about is I'm a big lover, and I love to focus on value selling. So, and I think that
What does that mean?
what that means. You actually wrote, I saw an article recently that you did, kind of based on that, and the idea is simple. 2 blocks down the road, we can get a haircut for $25. Okay, we come 2 blocks up here to 184, and I'm sure we're paying a lot more than $25 for a haircut. And you did something in the Wall Street Journal on $100 versus a $1,000 haircut. So for me, the idea of selling value, as opposed to just selling a product, the idea of selling something that's of quality, that has a brand of stature, that you've built your business on, and it's something that I hold dear to myself, that I hold in all my businesses as well. So I think one of the interesting things I'd love to learn from you is from when people come in, right, which is happening right now, to when they leave, to what may be like 2 or 3 things that you're like to your team is they're an absolute must that have to happen in order to achieve the brand standards that you want, to then be able to keep the prices, the integrity, and people coming back over and over and over again. What are a couple of things that you specifically say to your team, this is what we need to embody, this is what we need to have as part of our brand to remain at that kind of level that Ted Gibson expects?
Well, I think there are a number of different things, but one of the things that I always say, right, is that all a woman, because most of the people that come here are women, all a woman wants is to be listened to, desired, and told that she's beautiful. So I think that if you can do those
Wait, let me write that down for my wife. Hold on.
Write that down. Guys, listen to me. So all they want is to be listened to, desired, and felt like they're beautiful. And I think that's really an easy formula, because I think that if you go and get that $25 haircut, it could be a great haircut. But you may not be able to feel those 3 things when you leave or while you're there. Because what I'm selling is an experience. I'm not selling just a haircut. Because, like you said, you can go anywhere and get a great haircut. But for me, it's really about the experience. It's about being able to guide her in who she wants to be. I mean, my tagline is beauty is individual.
Absolutely,
And so what I try to do is I try to bring out, and I do bring out.
And a hair changes everything. I did my research. Totally
good. I have a lot of, tendencies. Because I think it's important as a brand to be able to
absolutely
give that philosophy. So if a woman sits in my chair, I'm with her for an hour and 15 minutes. My haircut is $1,200. I do my shampoos. I do a stress relieving experience. I give her a massage on her shoulders and the back of her head and her shoulders, and I shampoo her myself. I blow her dry, and she gets a hand treatment while she's in the chair. Take her to the changing room. So it's the idea of a 5-star luxury experience. And I think women really want that, and they value that. And they get to say that their hairdresser touches Angelina Jolie and Lupita Nyong'o and Anne Hathaway and Gabriel Union and all these A-list celebrities, that I'm giving them the same treatment that I'm doing on those.
And so if you break that down, one of my favourite words you've said so far is experience. And I always say to people, it's about an experience. I mean, you're not buying a product from me. I mean, if we come to buy one of your amazing new ranges that we're going to have to talk about in a moment, if I'm going to buy this, the difference is I can pick this up and I can purchase it, for the price tag, let's say, of $20. But as soon as I talk to you about what's going to match you, as soon as I talk to you about and I start being involved in this experience, the value of this object goes up. Which means that you as a business owner, you can capitalise on that as part of your brand. Not only just deliver something that's great, but we were in Grand Central Station only about 2 hours ago, and we love it. I mean, I love Grand Central, but one of the things that always reminds me of that when I go to Grand Central is that everyone's so busy and running in 100 different directions, and it's a bit like that when it comes to consumers. Everyone is they're not looking for your product. They're just they're busy doing what they need to do. But if you're going to stand out, if you're going to be someone who's noticed a bit different, you've got to have something different about you, and you mentioned that in part of it, your celebrity status and what you do. I mean, we've seen you on Australian TV, we've seen you on TV around the world, and you've grown this brand that now people, but you're right. I mean, you've done Angelina Jolie's hair, and it's like, wow, how many fans does she have around the world? And now they can have somebody that that does work with her. So here's a question for you as well. What about now? You must be kind of like me with my clients. I'm backlogged for about 12 months because of what I charge per day to consult, same as do you. How do you pass on your experience and skills to your team, which is always a bit of a struggle for entrepreneurs because especially cutting hair is such a personal thing.
Sure.
And it's like and for you when you first must have hired somebody in, you're watching them watching them and seeing what they're doing. How is it for you to pass over that trust and the skills to them so that other people know that because they've been trained by you, they're going to get that same quality? What's some sort of tips you'd give to entrepreneurs when it comes to hiring somebody into a brand that they hold so close to them like you must have when you started?
Well, I always say that I never, ever, ever think about someone that I can't train.
Okay.
I think that if someone has a willingness, that I can train them to cut hair. If
Right.
you had a willingness, I could train you to cut hair.
Okay.
So I think that that's more than half the battle.
Okay.
Because if you don't have a willingness,
Sure.
then to education,
Yeah.
to growth,
Yeah.
to change, then you won't be successful.
Because you do the academy, you have an academy
Yes, we have
as well.
an advanced academy that's hugely successful.
Right.
We train everyone that comes in, like, for instance, Whitney, who's standing right here, she went through our program for over a year before she got onto the floor.
Excellent.
And now she's a $125 haircut.
Yeah.
So I think that what it is for me, for my brand, is that education is key. That everyone has to go through a seamless process. They have to go through an audition. They have to do all these things so that they can know that this is the right place for them.
Okay, fantastic. And one of the things that entrepreneurs, that I'm very focused on in teaching people is the difference between personal brand and company brand.
Sure.
Okay? Personal brand and company brand. And, and it's lessons that I learned, from Sir Richard Branson, these kind of guys that, Sir Richard Branson, he's got 400 companies. Virgin Group is one of the biggest conglomerate of companies in the world. If he opens Virgin Hair, right, he will have instant customers,
Sure.
instant investment, and instant people wanting to work there because he has established a brand and in who he is. Now,
Without a doubt.
with you started as a hairdresser.
Sure.
You grew your own salon from there. Now you've got two. Now you've got these other things you do as part of your brand. People that are wanting to grow their personal brand, is there any tips that you would give them on how to grow their personal brand in a busy world, in a Grand
Sure.
Central Station world? Is there any tips you'd give them?
Well, I think you're only as strong as your team.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? And I think that as the brand of Ted Gibson and the brands that are underneath Ted Gibson, because they are a brand behind the chair, that they have to fall in line with what the brand of Ted Gibson is.
Right.
And what that means for me is that, of course, great service. Of course, they're going to be, when people come off the elevator to come onto 184
Yeah.
Fifth Avenue, they are expected that they're going to get a great hair. It's all the other things that come along with that
Right.
that makes it a superior level of service.
Sure.
And I tell people all the time that if you're really concerned and you're wanting to build your own brand, because you have to think about that, it's really important to have your brand philosophy and what that really means,
Yeah.
and hold true to that, because there are going to be people who are going to want to challenge your thought process.
Yeah.
Of what that really means.
Okay.
As a hairdresser, because yes, it
Yeah.
started off as a
Yeah.
hairdresser, but as a hairdresser, I'm a hairdresser. I'm not a black hairdresser.
Yeah.
So for me, it was really important that I knew that I wanted to work on textures of hair, that it wasn't about the color of the skin. Because you can be very, very dark and have straight hair, and you can be very, very light and have kinky hair. So for me, it was about what can I do as a hairdresser to fulfill that person who has kinky hair and that person who has straight hair.
Okay.
And it didn't matter what color of the skin. So that's the reason why I've been able
Right.
to do so many multicultural
Sure.
in respect.
Because the stars that you've
As
been
a star,
involved with,
yeah,
they're all
it's been all
different,
over the map.
right? All different
You know,
hair.
all over the hair, ages,
Yeah, great.
colors. It doesn't really matter.
Everything is
to
part
me.
of it.
Yeah.
And you mentioned a really important thing that I find as well. I spent I had my time involved in corporate companies, the big, Fortune 500s, and before I became an entrepreneur, a decade or so ago, and growing all of my companies. And one of the things that I remember is that we had to try and remember these core values, right? And they were just these things. They didn't really mean anything. They were just points. So
Sure.
for people that are growing a brand,
And it is constant, though.
absolutely. Well, this is my question. So for people that are growing a brand, if you give me your 5 points of a brand, for people that are growing a brand and hiring people in, is what are some things that you do to make your staff not remember but to embody? Now you can hire the right people, but once they're hired in, what are some things that you do, I don't know, with your team, or that you try to get them to embody the brand concept, not remember it? There's a difference between that as well.
Sure.
Is there anything you can share that you can teach young entrepreneurs or business owners that have a team to not be able to recite the 5 core values, but to embody it? What is there anything you do with your team to really get this honed into them
Every day.
every day?
every single
Yep.
day.
Great.
Every day, the salon, we start taking clients at 10.
Okay.
Every day at 9:45 on the dot, we have what is considered a huddle.
Great.
And in that huddle, we go over numbers, what happened yesterday, we go over current events, we talk about pop culture.
Right.
We talk about, because as a hairdresser and as a salon, we are the foundation for people's lives. Because I say hair changes everything. And the foundation of people's lives is that this is the place where a woman or a man comes to find out everything. You know, your hairdresser knows everything about you.
She does. I remember
So-
she tells me everything. I haven't seen her in 2 months. Hi, Aaron. How you going?
Exactly.
How's Alessandra? How's your
Exactly.
wife?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. So we know everything that's going on. So in that
And that's part of the
huddle-
experience.
That's part of the experience.
Yeah.
So in that huddle, what we do is we get everybody on the same page so that we can have a common goal as a team, what the goal is today. And this is the goal for today.
Yeah.
This is what we talk about. This is how we live. This is how we focus. And that's the message of the day.
Fantastic.
Which is the common message throughout the entire time that we work here. It doesn't change.
Yeah, excellent. So what's some other overall advice for people out there that maybe haven't taken the leap yet to follow their passion and turn what they do into a reality and turn that into a lifelong career in business? What's one or two pieces of advice you'd give to them? They could be anything. They could be a tradesman. They could be an accountant for themselves. They could be a hairdresser. But they've got a skill and they haven't yet taken that to the next level. What's a piece of advice you'd give them?
Well, I relate everything to beauty, right?
Yeah.
And I cut the beauty director's hair at Teen Vogue yesterday. And we had the interview today. And that's exactly what we talked about. And you can put anything in that. It can be hair, it can be skin, it can be business, whatever it is. Because hair is like, people are afraid of making a change. And change can be very scary, but at the same time, it's inevitable. So if you in your life can accept that it is change and just know that it's going to change, then everything else will be seen. Because the weather's going to change, your age changes, your body changes, traffic change, everything changes. So if you can just think of that you have no control over the change, it's what you do with the change that makes you successful, then you're going to be just fine.
And that eliminates fear.
And it eliminates fear, because then you don't have anything to worry about because it's going to change. So it's just comfortable with the change.
Yeah, excellent. That's fantastic.
Well, it's true, because as a person who, I didn't have a sense.
Oh, I hear,
I didn't have a sense.
Absolutely.
I moved to New York to be a freelancer, to do shows in Europe and to be a freelancer. I had no idea that I was going to be successful with it. And you just have to go for it. You do, you have to go for it.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, you heard it here from Ted Gibson, 184 5th Street, right?
Between 22nd and 23rd Street, right across the street from the Flatiron.
You need to come down here. You need to come down. You need to come out here and get a haircut. So, guys, entrepreneurs out there and business owners out there, success, leaves clues. It leaves clues, and from what Ted's gone through to where he is now to what he's growing to the amazing things I'm sure on the horizon, more products. Your ranges have come out. I heard they sold out really, really quickly.
Yes. And I actually just became the style curator for a new hotel called the Knickerbocker.
Wow.
It's opening up on 42nd Street in Broadway.
Okay.
The Knickerbocker was originally a hotel by the Astros in 1906 that we developed. And that's actually where the Martini was discovered.
Okay.
And they are reintroducing the hotel. It's about 350 rooms. My products from hair care and cosmetics will be in the rooms.
Right.
And I designed from head to toe what the front of the house and everyone's going to look like.
Wow.
So as style curator, this is my first venture into creating a complete style for a hotel.
Wow.
So it's really exciting for me.
And it's about your brand again.
Exactly.
You've gone from the hair to the beauty to the style to the
so it's so much fun.
Interior decorating next, maybe. Urban planning. We'll design cities. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Ted Gibson in New York, who is an amazing success story. And guys, look him up. Come and have a haircut down here. And till next time, remember to live with purpose, live with passion, and live with profit. I'll speak to you soon. Hey guys, Aaron Sansoni here. Now we've finished the interview with Ted Gibson. What an amazing brand he has in New York right now at 184th West 5th Avenue. And you know, if you can't take something from that as an entrepreneur, I don't know what you got. I mean, his principles from him coming from nothing and building a brand has been amazing. And you know, what a great guy. I shared some moments with him after the interview and really learned a little bit more about him. What a genuine guy with amazing success. So make sure you guys follow him on social media. Make sure you watch that interview again and again and again and learn, because remember, success does leave clues. So Aaron Sansoni, now I've got to head to Times Square before it starts pouring down rain. We have a photo shoot and some other media engagements. So I'll speak to you guys soon.